Ranger with Junior red-eyed tree frogs.
Yeah, look at those bright red eyes on that guy. This is the September 2023 edition.
Orange. It looks like orange.
You think that's orange? I think the feet look orange. The eyes look really red to me. Well, oh, you got to guess the kids' pictures, Apollo. Here it goes. What do we got?
That's a snake.
Not bad.
That's a crab. That's a groundhog.
Yeah.
That's a blue jay. That's an armadillo.
Yeah.
And that's a cheetah.
Nice. Well, they all look pretty close. And you know what I think?
What?
I think you read the words, and so you are a cheetah. Ha 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 ha. Get my joke?
A little.
A little bit.
Yes, I get it.
Okay. Well, let's go on. Let's say that's wild. Can you guess these creatures? These are real-life creatures, Apollo. What's this guy?
A sloth.
Definitely a sloth. And a sloth spends most of his life hanging upside down. And of course, what's this guy?
Elephant.
Yep, he's an elephant. An elephant uses its trunk as a snorkel when it swims. How about this guy?
That is a snake.
It is a snake. It doesn't say which type. It looks like, it could be some sort of boa, maybe.
I know that.
Hang on. This snake smells with their tongues. Okay, you want...
That's a catfish.
It is a catfish. A catfish has taste buds all over its body, not just in its mouth. Whoa, so it tastes the water around it? Oh, crazy.
That's a loon.
Yeah, that is a loon. You're right. Unlike most birds...
I cheated. I read the word.
Oh, well, you're getting pretty good at that. Unlike most birds, a loon has bones that are not hollow. Wow, so loons might be pretty heavy. Most birds have hollow bones.
Then how can they fly and float?
They must have big wings, big strong wings. And this is a kangaroo, and a kangaroo can't hop backwards.
Yep.
Did you know they can't hop backwards? How about you? Can you hop backwards?
Yes.
Yeah?
I can run backwards.
So you're more skilled than a kangaroo. If a kangaroo attacked, what should you do? Get behind it and hop backwards. Ha ha! Well, do you think that would work? What do you think?
Oh, Dada.
Oh, okay. Well, let's read about red-eyed tree frogs. Meet one of the coolest animals of the rainforest. These are colorful frogs. These frogs don't just have red eyes, they also have bright green skin, orange feet, white bellies, and blue and yellow stripes.
That's not the poisonous kind.
It doesn't say it's poisonous.
That's not the poisonous kind.
Yep.
I can't tell the poisonous kind.
Oh, well, it doesn't say it's poisonous, so you're probably right. Sticky feet. Tree frogs have sticky pads on their toes. These pads help the frogs get a good grip when climbing. And look, they're very tiny. This one's on somebody's thumb. A red-eyed tree frog is so small it could sit on your thumb. Wow. I do think these frogs are cool, but remember the glass frog? Mm-hmm. Wouldn't those be even cooler? Well, let's read more about this frog. Frogs that live...
Camouflage.
That's true. He could camouflage. Frogs that live on the ground move about by hopping, but tree frogs live in trees, so they mostly creep and crawl and climb. They, in fact, are super climbers. Tree frogs are nocturnal. They hunt at night and sleep during the day. Tree frogs eat mostly insects that they catch. They swallow their food whole. Insect eaters.
If they're tree frogs, that means they aren't poisonous.
If they eat only insects, would they be an insectivore?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Helpful colors. When a tree frog sleeps on a leaf, it is hard for other animals to see. You're right. Look at that camouflage. Holy moly.
That must be why there's barely anybody has ever found them.
Well, I think they've been found. We've got lots of pictures of them. If an enemy comes near, the frog pops up and opens its eyes. Its bright colors may startle the attacker long enough for the frog to get away. Okay. Number 1, tree frog life cycle. It starts. A tree frog lays an egg. That's how it starts. It lays its eggs on a leaf above a pond. Inside the eggs are growing tadpoles.
And why it does it above a pond is because when the egg hatches, the tadpole will just fall into the pond.
That's a good guess. Step 2.
It's true.
Okay. When ready to hatch, the tadpoles wiggle free and plop into the water below. Number 3, each tadpole will then grow into a little brown froglet with legs. And finally, 4, after a froglet loses its tail and gets brighter colors, it is ready to crawl into the trees. How does a red-eyed tree frog change over time? How do you think it changes over time? Because it's a tadpole, loses its tail, and climbs to the trees. It's like it sees the light. All right, guess what? We have a new story by Ricky and Pals. The story is called The Travelers. What do you think this one's about? The Travelers. We'll find out. Tickle, tickle, something soft touched Ricky Raccoon's nose as he slept. Ricky rubbed his nose without opening his eyes. Then he snuggled deeper into his pillow. Tickle, tickle! Just as Ricky started to rub his nose again, he heard a giggle. Hee. He opened his eyes to see Busy Beaver's big, toothy grin. Good morning, Ricky, said Busy. Look what I found. He held up a big dandelion puffball. Ricky yawned and sat up. That's pretty, he said sleepily. And tickly. They both giggled. Hee. You know what, Ricky, said Busy. We've got a mystery to solve. A mystery? Ricky asked. He climbed out of bed. What mystery? Well, said Busy, I showed my dandelion to Mrs. Cardinal, and she said, how exciting. Busy, this is the time of year when plants are on the move. Then she flew off before I could even ask any questions. Plants on the move? Asked Ricky. I wonder what she means. But before he could finish his thought, there was a knock on his door. It was Flora Skunk and Mitzi Mink. You're just in time to help us figure out a mystery, said Ricky. Then Busy told them what Mrs. C had said to them. Flora looked puzzled. How can plants move? She asked. They don't have legs, and they're stuck in the ground. Come on, said Mitzi. Let's go look for plants moving. They went outside. Do you have any ideas on how plants move, Apollo?
They could be like losing their leaves and
maybe the seeds. The seeds are blowing? That's a good guess. They went outside and they looked around. Busy walked up to a big tree trunk and pushed on it. Trees sure don't move, he said. Mrs. C must have meant another kind of plant. Let's go to the meadow, said Ricky. Maybe some of the plants there will be moving. As they headed off, Mitzi scratched her head. Plants move when they blow in the wind, but it's hard to picture a plant moving from place to place, she said. I mean, what would it do? Pop out of the dirt and tiptoe along the roots? Everyone just giggled at that thought. Hee. They walked along slowly, keeping their eyes on the plants. It's no use, Ricky said. These plants are staying right where they are. Hey, what's this? Flora asked. She had found some prickly brown things caught in her fur. The others noticed that they had the things stuck in their fur, too. Ricky pulled a few off of his tail and looked closely at them. What do you think these are? He asked.
Seeds.
Ah, yes, seeds. I think you're right. A familiar voice answered, They're plants on the move. They all turned to see Mrs. C perched on a bush. These aren't plants, said Busy. But they will be someday, said Mrs. C, with a wink. They're seeds, after all. I don't get it, said Ricky. Plants make seeds so that more plants can grow, Mrs. C explained. But if all the seeds just fell off the plants and grew right where they fell, what would happen? I know, said Flora. The plants would soon be way too crowded together. That's right, said Mrs. C. So plants have ways of traveling to other places to grow. She pointed at the prickly seeds. Some, like these, are hitchhikers. They catch rides to different places, then they fall off and they grow there. Oh, I get it, said Mitzi. Other seeds land in the water and float to a new spot, said Mrs. C. And many kinds of seeds ride the wind. Like dandelions, said Busy. He held up his dandelion puffball. That is right, answered Mrs. C. All those tiny hairs are like little parachutes that help the seeds float. Just then a breeze blew past, ruffling the friend's fur. And suddenly the seeds on Busy's puffball went blowing into the air. Look at them go, said Busy. They're on the move now. They are, too. They all watched as the dandelion's feathery seeds blew up, and away across the meadow. Bye, little travelers, Ricky called. Have a nice trip. You were right, Apollo. Seeds are how plants get on the move. All right. Let's read nuts. Did you know chipmunks eat lots of things, but acorns are their favorite food? Chipmunks will collect acorns and take them back to their dens. They eat this stockpile of nuts during the winter. A chipmunk can carry up to 12 acorns at once. Where, Apollo?
In their mouth.
Yeah, inside its stretchy cheek pouches. Many animals love to eat these acorns too. So acorns are nuts that grow on oak trees. Even humans.
And I'm sure a lot of animals like oak trees.
Well, yeah, even humans can eat acorns off of oak trees, but not directly. You know why?
Because there's hard shells.
Well, not because of the shells. It's because they have an acid in them that's not good for our tummies and not good for us. So, what the Native Americans used to do with acorns is they would open their shells and they would take the acorn nut out and they would smash it up and then they would rinse it and boil it out. Boil the poison, the toxins, or not the toxins, the acids out of it. So that it was kind of like flour. And what's one of your favorite foods that you make flour, that is made out of flour? You eat them most mornings.
Pancakes?
Pancakes. So they used to grind it up into a flour and make pancakes.
Waffles?
Kinda. They didn't have waffle makers, but pancakes. So, squirrels. These are squirrels. Squirrels also love acorns, and they bury the acorns they find. Then they dig them up later when they are hungry. Some of them they forget about and they grow into trees. That's how trees get on the move. These are blue jays, and blue jays, many birds, including the blue jays, eat acorns. Their hard bills can break open the tough nuts. And here's an acorn growing into a new oak tree. Some of the acorns that the animals bury grow into oak trees. When they're forgotten, of course. Oh my goodness, this is an acorn woodpecker. Acorn woodpeckers store acorns in holes that they drill in the tree trunks. When the birds get hungry, they pull the nuts out of the tree. And these are acorn weevils. Acorn weevils lay their eggs inside the acorns. After the egg hatched, the baby weevils chew their way out. So they lay their eggs into a food. That's amazing. This is the deer. Deers gobble up acorns as if they were candy. So many animals love acorns. Oh, here it is. Creature feature. Honey pot ants. Special worker ants in this colony store a sugary liquid in their big honey pot bellies. These ants are called rutpleats. They hang from the ceiling of their nest like this. And they've got these big honey pot bellies. Their bellies can be as big as grapes. Holy moly. When food is hard to find, the repletes feed the sweet liquid to the other ants. Whoa, so they feed their families that way. They store and feed. Amazing. Another adventure of who, Apollo?
Bonnie and Chester.
Bonnie and Chester, and this one's called Blending In. Check out this moth. It blends in with the tree bark, said Bonnie. That makes me want to play hide and seek, said Chester. Okay, you hide and I'll count, said Bonnie. 1, 2, 3. Chester runs into his tree. This will work. Ready or not, here I come. Giggle, giggle, giggle. Bushes don't giggle, said Bonnie. That moth isn't the only one who can blend in, said Chester. You found me! Woohoo! That was pretty good camouflage. Too bad he giggled. The end.
It's a good thing I don't giggle and hide and seek.
Yeah. You only giggle when I tickle you. Yeah?
I dodge that.
Ah, good dodge. Okay, hey, we're on Animal Fun. A isn't just for acorn. The names of these animals also start with the letter A. Can you match each animal with its name? Number 1. Who is that? Is that, well, it's going to start with an A. So it's either an aardvark, and an anaconda, an albatross, an ii, and I think this is anhinga or an armadillo.
Wait, can you read those again?
Yeah, aardvark, anaconda, albatross, anhinga.
Albatross.
Yeah, I would guess albatross. You're right. Number 2, is he an aardvark, an anaconda, an ii, an anhinga, or an armadillo?
This one?
Number 2.
Armadillo.
Armadillo. Number 3.
Ii.
For sure. Number 4, what is he? Is he an aardvark, an anaconda? Aardvark, yeah. What is he then? Anaconda. And you know what? We might have got this one wrong. This probably is not the albatross. This is probably the albatross, and that is probably the anhinga.
Oh.
What do you think? You think we want to switch that answer?
Mm-hmm.
Me too. So the aardvark, where is he? There. He has a long pig-like snout. Definitely the aardvark. The anaconda is covered with scales, of course. The albatross, I have huge wingspan. Boom, huge wingspan. The I have long, skinny fingers. Yep, definitely the I. The anhinga, I'm known as the snake bird. That looks like a snake bird to me. The armadillo, I wear a shell on my back. Well, of course, the armadillo.
It can tuck up in a ball.
It can. Oh, we're near the end. So, these are creatures that live in the savanna. Do you remember where the savanna is, Apollo? I'll give you a hint.
Africa.
Yeah, in Africa. We live in the savanna. A savanna has lots of grass and only a few trees. It is always hot there. This is called the weaver bird, and it builds its nest. This is the baboon, and the baby rides on his mom's back. This is the rhino who grazes on grass. Now it's your turn to guess. I live in the savanna too. Guess who I am? I have lots of freckles. I have black lines under my eyes.
A cheetah.
I think you're right. I am super fast.
Yep. Definitely a cheetah.
Let's see. I am a
cheetah.
Run, run, cheetah, run, run. A cheetah can run as fast as 60 miles per hour. No animal can run faster.
Yes, it can.
No animal can run faster. There's an animal that can fly faster.
And swim.
And swim faster, probably. But, well, probably not faster than 60 miles an hour. But
nope, swim. A sailfish.
Can swim 60 miles an hour? Whoa. Maybe. All right, and that was it. You guessed it. We are done with another edition, September edition of Ranger Rick Jr. Are you ready to say adios, my monkey?
Adios!